we all agree that like any penalty paid is the fine that ends a litigation, then even, you know, a traffic stop is, you know, that could be, you know, the whatever accepted for value is too. But, you know, that might be, you know, evidence of a debt is presumed to be paid, right? I haven't really figured out that maxim yet, but I'm assuming there's something cool there, right? Because evidence of a debt is presumed to be paid, right? It's like not a receipt, because a receipt is like proof that you paid, right? But like evidence of a debt is presumed to be paid. Anyway, back to, you know, everything looks fine on my screen, you know. It looks like, you know, the fine has been, you know, a fine has been surrendered, right? Or however you want to put it. But that's, you know, that's just the way it is. It's like everything looks fine on my screen over here. It doesn't look like there's any debt owed. So then it's like, you know, so that could be the acceptance for value, but it's also, you know, I forgive you for the trespass. But then it comes like, what do we do about the perpetual defamation as far as like the public record side? Because I feel like that's a problem, because that's gonna make me always look like the liar. It's gonna make me look like the liar, but I'm not the liar. So what do we do about that then? What do we do about that then? And then how am I ever supposed to agree with my adversary before I get to court if, you know, if I'm potentially up against the Satan who doesn't, you know, hear or believe the truth? So we can never be on the same page. So then I guess that, you know, biblical sort of statute of mine is, you know, made difficult, right? They, you know, they are definitely rendering that one sort of difficult to attain. But I still think that, like, we're all supposed to agree on, you know, if they are representing the state, then there's supposed to be an agreement there. So then if they're outside of the agreement, then what do we do about that? Because I'm under the impression that we're supposed to all be on the same page already. And that's why, you know, like, even corporations with their contract with the, you know, the legitimate arm of the state that's legitimately, like, incorporating them, they are supposed to have, like, a contract to be bound by the statutes. And if they're not being bound by anything, like, this is where I feel, it's like, it doesn't feel like they are being bound by anything, a lot of the corporations. It's like they're not being bound by anything. Because, like, even if contract makes the law, they are definitely landing outside of any kind of lawful contracting also. So if it's